Ladies and gents, lend ear, incline your grace, for art and jest converge within this space, where stories bloom and muses take their cue. Welcome, dear souls, to I Wanna Be Like You. Today I toast with cheer and vast delight, a star whose glow outshines the Broadway light, a voice that soars, a heart both bold and kind, a craft that stirs the soul, uplifts the mind. From stage to soul, he charms with pure finesse. In Once on this Island, he did impress. From Motown's groove to company's rebellious hue, he brings the truth in every role he'll do. Sit ye back, relax, enjoy the art, for Tyler Hardwick graces us in part. We'll laugh, reflect, and maybe shed a tear. The curtain rises. His story starts here. So, that was an intro written by Moliere that I crafted for this thing. He wrote this before he passed, of course. So here's the thing. I think that I'm going to start that way every intro. Do you like it? We rhymed, we did the thing, and it was incredibly, if I was doing it in verse, incredibly relevant for this episode, because today we have Tyler Hardwick on. So we went to go see Tartuffe last night. Andre DeShields is Tartuffe last night at the House of the Redeemer, because Tyler Hardwick is in that show, and he's fantastic, and as is the rest of the cast. They are doing the work in this incredible venue. You walked in, and we walked into this library, and I felt like Belle in the middle of Beauty and the Beast, when the Beast is like, "Belle, I have something for you," and he opens it, and he's like, and then the music plays, dun. I don't think dun 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 dun. I don't think that's the music that plays when that happens. I don't think that's right. But Belle's like, "Oh my God, Beast! Look what you did! I love reading." That's what I felt like when I walked into the House of the Redeemer. It's a huge library. It was a mansion, and it came over from Italy. Tyler talks all about it in detail, much more articulately than I can at the moment. But it's an incredible space, and it's the first live performance in that space. So all these lights and stuff are hidden in books and the bookshelves, and it's really exciting. And Andre DeShields is leading it, playing Tartuffe. It's a Moliere play, but a modern translation and a modern spin on it, and it's incredibly immersive. It's only 100 people. It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen, and very, very unique. So we had a blast seeing Tartuffe. And to riff off some of Tyler's other credits, Tyler was in the first African-American production of Dreamgirls in Seoul in South Korea. Tyler was in Once on this Island, on the sand and Circle in the Square. That was super cool. Michael Arden production of Once on this Island. Tyler's Broadway debut was in Motown, the musical. And we get to talking to him about it all. He also did this little piece that I wanted to ask him about. That was a Ahrens and Flaherty show that's still looking to come here. But it was done at Fifth Avenue Theater in Seattle and is now happening in the West End, called Marie Dancing Still, based on the Little Dancer statue. So that's also a little thing that we get to talking to him about, which is really exciting. Has so much interesting insight, and is just so funny and such an incredible bold talent. He gets to talking about all these really cool audition stories where he just went the full mile, and that's what got him the job. And I think there's a lot to take out of that. That is the big tagline: big and bold. Big and bold choices is the best way to describe Tyler. And we really appreciated him coming on the show, and I can't wait for you to see it. So, as it says, welcome, dear souls. Today, I want to be like Tyler Hardwick. I want to be like you. 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 Welcome to another episode of I Want to Be Like You with Elbi Cespedes. Today, I want to be like Tyler Hardwick. So thank you for doing this. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
We just saw you in Tartuffe last night, and you were excellent. And the show is excellent and so unique and unlike anything I've ever seen, which is really exciting.
I agree.
Yeah, you see so much
Thank
theater,
you.
right? Broadway theater, off-Broadway theater, weird theater in New York City where you're like, oh, this is like, you know, I've seen shows that I'm like, this is like a black box and there's 3 chairs and, you know, so I've seen so much, but this show was so unique. It was at a space that's never had a live performance because you guys are the first live performance at the House of the Redeemer, which is really exciting. So yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about it.
Yeah, me too.
But first, our first question is always, who was your I want to be like you when you were a kid?
Ooh. I have a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Different spaces. And
Yeah.
I'm not just saying this because I'm doing the show with him.
Right.
I think Andre DeShields, in terms of black musical theater,
Mm-hmm.
is an ancient scripture for, you know, anyone
yeah.
coming up learning, you
Right.
know, millennials to, you know, any generation. I think he did so many different things in his career and still is.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say Andre DeShields. And then one that you're not going to guess, Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright.
As an actor. Yeah. Jeffrey Wright was like one for me that I was like, he went from doing Angels in America to plays to, you know what I mean? Another kind of Denzel.
Absolutely.
Amazing, incredible actor.
Absolutely. Yeah, he actually, you asked me yesterday, you were like, who's in highest to lowest with Denzel? Jeffrey Wright. That's who it is. Yeah, Jeffrey
You
Wright.
really had that conversation? I feel like I never hear that name, but he's like...
It's funny enough, we had it last night at the show because right before the show, I got like this screening to see, I haven't seen the movie yet, but and he was like, somebody's in it with Denzel, and I was like, Jeffrey Wright. That's
because he's Jeffrey Wright, and Jeffrey Wright can do no wrong.
He's brilliant. It's funny that you know him from like Angels in America and stuff, especially that because you're right, he is niche. Did you see American Fiction? Mm-hmm. I think that was one of the best movies I've ever seen.
But you go from American Fiction to his work in Angels in America. Like when you start to put them next to each other, it's like it's just all vastly different.
Because he's funny in Angels not in Angels in America. Oh my gosh, in American Fiction, and he's also going to be in the new Death of a Salesman too, the movie.
And Batman.
Yes, right. And Batman. Yeah, right. Yeah, no, he's brilliant. That's great. I love Jeffrey Wright. So you're from Rochester.
Rock City, baby.
And I have to tell you, the thing about Rochester is that because we're from the city. What would you say?
You're welcome for Wegmans. I know that's where you're going to start. Right, Thank you for Wegmans.
But I have this, because we're from the city, I said everything that's like above, I'm like, it's upstate. So I don't know like where Rochester is because I get Rochester confused with Westchester.
As many New Yorkers do.
Yeah, exactly. So am I right? And I'm going to say, is Rochester the one that's 5 hours away?
You know what? Yes. Yes, I'll give you that. And that is points.
Okay.
That is points. 5.5.
5.5 hours away driving.
5:10 for me.
Right. Do you
when
fly
I'm
there?
driving?
Can you fly there?
It's an hour flight, so
Okay.
I'll fly.
Okay.
You can train, you can bus, but I will say that's like an 8-hour situation.
It is. Wow.
It's an hour flight, but it depends how much you want to spend.
Okay.
You know?
Gotcha. Talk to me about how often you were coming to the city as a kid to see shows and whatnot.
I would say almost never.
Really?
I mean, when I was growing up, we probably came like 3 times, like one with school, one with my father, who was like a huge Yankees fan. So it wasn't really like to go see Broadway musicals. He was like, we're going to go see a Yankees game. So that's kind of what I remember.
Right.
My first show, Broadway show, like here in the city, not, counting tours back home, was Spam-A-Lot.
Oh, that's a good one.
And thank you, Sara Ramirez. Shout out. That is the type of MT singing versality that we need to bring back to Broadway, please.
Yes, right.
Insert Little Night Music. Go look at that ancient scripture.
Yeah. So, how exposed were you to like theater? How young were you? Were you a theater kid?
Yeah. I would say I started like in middle school, really got involved with it in high school. I was a soccer player, so I
very cool.
I did that's why I'm grateful growing up in Rochester. I feel like it gave me a very diverse, different kind of experience. And like, as a New Yorker, obviously, as New Yorkers, let me correct myself, it's very diverse here. It's a melting pot.
It is, yeah.
But interesting enough, the school that I went to, high school, the demographics kind of mimic the United States. So I also grew up in a very like specific, small town, but not small town, very diverse community. So I never was shocked when I like went to college or, beyond, when I was exposed to anything new because I was already exposed to it.
The joke that I make is that the thing that shocked me the most when I went to college was that people were so enamored by the city and by
Black people.
Well, yeah, maybe that too. It could be that too. It's true, but also like the like the city. Like to me, I didn't know the difference between like New York City and any other city. I didn't realize that New York City was. I didn't realize what New York was. I just knew I was from here, and so like, well, I just thought everybody had a city. You know, so this is my city. Everyone has a city. Not the case at all. No. You know, that was the biggest thing that shocked me when I went to college is like people were from suburbs. You know, I'm from a suburb, Staten Island, a suburb, Rochester.
In the context of here,
right.
Yeah.
But it's like it's not as rural as where they're from.
Right.
You know, very different. What was I going to ask you in terms of how old were you when you saw Spamalot? That's what I was going to ask you.
Ooh, I was in high school, so you know. 16, 17, around that age.
Yeah. I associate the same thing. Like we have family in Haverstraw, and I'm like, Haverstraw is upstate, but that's not that Haverstraw. Haverstraw is like it's the same thing. It's just like upstate. It's like 2 hours away.
Give me an anchor. Like Albany.
I got nothing. I really got nothing. Yeah.
Well,
I got nothing. I don't know. I just know it ain't the city. I just know you can turn right on red. You know.
Literally. No signs.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. Exactly.
I will say everything above New York City. Is upstate because geography, just teaching here. New Yorkers who don't know geography, they're like past Westchester, we don't know.
No, yeah.
Everything is north of New York City in New York State.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so everything
even
is
Long
upstate.
Island. Even Long Island.
Even Long Island is north.
Echo.
Of New York. Is that right? It's north.
Technically north because it hooks up. Now that's not upstate because different association.
Sure.
But everything is higher than.
That's funny because I thought Long Island was on like a southern end. I don't know nothing.
No, it's like here and then it's a T and it goes up. So like Buffalo, Rochester. The geography lesson. That's funny.
It was even like we were trying to figure out. My girlfriend's going on tour, and we were trying to like map out where she was going. And I was like, well, I know West Coast, I know East Coast, I know Texas is in the middle.
Right.
Everything there else, like Oklahoma, I don't know where that is.
See, this is where we start to get. I'm like, it's down.
New York
there.
geography is what we're talking about
over there. Hook to the left a little bit.
Yeah, right, exactly. So speaking of Buffalo, you went to University of Buffalo, is that right?
I did.
So were you intending in high school, you were like, I'm going to do theater for a living?
I think it started out with all the things that I didn't want to do. You know, I'm looking at like my teachers who some of them I love and thank so much. They gave me my foundations in high school. But like going to them being like, you were in this building for the past 40 years? Uh-huh. And like that would scare me. I was like, oh no, I can't do that. Like showing up to an office every day expecting the same thing in any kind of career. Yeah. Or like go be a doctor and be in school for 8 years or whatever. Yeah. Like that just was not gonna be my path. Right. So I then fell into like doing theater in high school. My school was really well known for like chorus and like music.
Oh, really?
Stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I've already performed a solo in Carnegie Hall.
Wow.
With my high school.
Wow, that's cool.
So I'll have to make my debut there in a different way.
Yeah, right. That's pretty cool.
Crazy. High school kid?
Honestly, can I admit something?
Yeah, do it.
I didn't really get, like, again, you all know your world back there where I was from. You know the prestige because your teacher is like, this is Carnegie Hall, da-da-da-da. I didn't really. I was like, this is a really amazing venue. This is really nice, but that's as far as it, as it went for me. Like,
but it's still so big, right?
Yeah, of course. Right. Like all those things, but beyond that, I just was like, Carnegie Hall.
You didn't realize,
okay,
right?
Cool. Like I didn't. Then you come to the city, you're in the industry that we're in, and you're like, oh shit. Like I really didn't know, but that was. Smaller town mentality. I only knew what I knew. You know?
Sure. So you were saying, you were deciding the things that you didn't want to do when you were in high school.
No math, no teaching, no doctor.
Right. Yeah.
Fell into theater, and I was like, oh, I really, can I swear?
Yeah.
I really fuck with this.
Yeah.
So
right.
I was like, let me try this, and it just, I never got bored of it, and it just like really kept my attention. And, God bless my parents. They were like, you must got ADD or something. It was back millennial, back in those days where, everybody was like, you can't pay attention to anything. Yeah, but it really wasn't that. I just wasn't compelled with, the mundane. I had good grades. I had all that. But I just was like, I don't want to do this. So I know that I'm checked out. Right. But that was something that I was always engaged with. And then flash forward going to college, I couldn't afford to go to anything other than a state school. So that UB was what I landed on, and I kind of went on that path completely alone. My parents were like, we support you, but we don't know how to help you. You know, like I had to research everything on my own. I wasn't like a theater kid growing up in the sense of I went to Frenchwoods. Yeah,
Frenchwoods. Yeah, I didn't hear about Frenchwoods until this year. I didn't know about it. Yeah.
So I completely was just like a soccer player who was like, I guess I'll just like Google. That was as much as we had. And luckily, we had Stephen McKinley Henderson, who was a teacher at UB, who like completely changed the game for me and like really taught me so much. And if you don't know who that is, another actor to look up.
Yeah,
he's incredible, always working. Yeah. You know, incredible actor who taught me so much.
Wow, that's so cool. What was he teaching at your school?
Acting.
He was
singing. Acting. We did like acting for the camera with him.
What was your major technically?
I had 2.
Oh, okay.
I have 3. It was a whole situation. I started off as a musical theater major.
Okay.
I then picked up a dance major because I'd never danced, and I just became pretty good, and I got really into it because, again, it was physical. It was something that I could really
in college. You were never
about.
dancing before college. Wow.
Then I did a Nutcracker. I met a teacher outside of the school who owned his own dance company that was really prestigious in Buffalo, and he came from like William Hente. He gave me free classes for like 2 years, and like just amazing person.
Very cool.
Lockport City Ballet, shout out. And I got to, pick up that double major, and then obviously in college, I only had so many credits, so many hours.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to graduate in time if I like kept going on that course.
Right.
So I eventually dropped the MT degree.
Okay.
Finished with a BA theater.
Okay.
And dropped, took all the classes.
Right.
Wanted to get out as soon as possible, and did a BA to keep my 4-year situation.
Right.
I know it sounds
that makes
crazy,
sense. I will say good for you for taking advantage of dance class in college. I think that I took a lot of dance in college. I wish I had taken even more because the price, and it's just like the price to take dance class at a consistent rate is tough.
It's like what? I don't even know.
It's something
what's the rate of
it's something
dance
like
class these days?
Well, it's something like $26 to $30 now to take a dance class, and there's packages and all this other stuff. But at college, we were getting it for such a reduced rate at a consistent rate, and I was getting a grade, so I felt like I needed to. I needed to go, and I needed to like be better. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I always said, it's like I always wanted to learn a backflip. We had a tumbling class when I was in school, and then they discontinued it. They discontinued the tumbling. They discontinued the tumbling class, but I was like, if they had kept it, because I would feel like I had to like upkeep, and I was there every week, and I had no choice but to be there every week. Is like that kind of discipline would help me to more than You
want to know why they got rid of it? They went over their insurance.
Yeah, it's probably true. It's probably true.
Insurance for this.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably true. We didn't have the mat or
Right.
But yeah. So it's one of the biggest things when I speak to kids who are in school right now. I'm like, take advantage of those dance classes as much as you can.
Yeah.
Because they weren't even in my school. At least they weren't even the same price of a regular class. They were reduced even from that. So,
really?
Oh yeah. Like if you were taking a ballet or a jazz or a tap, they were a quarter of what your regular classes were. Oh. They would be a separate bill, but they were a quarter of what your regular class, your math.
You'll pay later.
Yeah, you'll pay it separate.
Thousands.
Don't worry.
Don't you worry.
Don't worry. But it was significantly reduced to your philosophy or what have you.
Sure.
So
I know. Talk about price gouging.
Yeah, right, exactly. So you graduate from college, and what was the first thing you decided to do? Did you move to the city?
So I actually left college after 3.5 years. I basically finished all of my, degree classes. I had like 3 gen eds that I had to, that I had yet to take.
Okay.
Just because, again, you override your schedule with so many credits, you only can do so much. And then when I wasn't in college, I would work, non-ec contracts or something.
Okay.
And
cool. That's great.
You know
strategy.
what I mean? So
Strategy.
It's hard to I had to stay busy somehow, and I left because I got the Motown, my equity card, doing the Motown promotional tour. Oh. Which was something a little bit different back in those days, where you would pretty much send, let's say, an understudy. Kinky Boots was running at the time, so they'd send like an understudy to sing a couple title songs. Okay. And in Motown fashion, everything has to be like the best it can be. Mm-hmm. We had 5 people, including Todrick Hall at the time, was one of them. Marcus Paul James, Cindy Winters, like all of us. Chris Davis, Curtis Wiley.
Oh, I know Curtis. Yeah.
So it was like a bunch of us, and we did like a 15-minute set.
Wow.
Like a little medley, and we went to all the markets before the tour went there, or we went to Key
And
West.
where were you performing these?
Like at the PAC venues,
or
we would go to like Broadway conventions. So we went to Key West, which was
yeah,
amazing.
It's amazing, yeah.
We went to Brazil.
What?
Amazing.
Oh my gosh. So this was much more like
Brasil, tudo bem. That's all I remember.
That's so funny. So you're going. I've never heard of this before. That's such an interesting like way to promote the shows.
I don't think they do much of that anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple things in Chicago or like like the bigger markets, but it's not something that they.
Was it a part of a bigger thing where it was like you guys are doing Motown, somebody else is doing something else, or was it like like in the sense that like am I buying a ticket to see you guys perform a couple of songs from Motown, or am I buying like a Motown and then there's also other people doing another promotional something, and there's you know what I mean?
I don't know actually. I know that we did a bunch of different like events. Okay. So like you probably could. There was a big one in Chicago that we did for like the press, something or rather a season announcements. I think. Right. But yeah, my parents came, so I guess
that's
you
incredible.
Get some kind of ticket.
So how long was that tour?
It's so hard to like we would go out for like 3 days, right? 3 days, 4 days. Come back. 3 days. 3 days, 4 days. Come back.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like not consistent, but consistent enough where like if we worked 4 days, we would get a full production contract paycheck.
What? Whoa, that's crazy. For those who don't know, production contract paycheck is a Broadway contract.
The good old days.
That's nuts.
I know.
So was that what got you your equity card?
Yeah.
Really?
So I was like,
how cool.
Peace out, y'all. And then, flash forward a long time, 2020, I was on tour. 2019, I was on tour once on this island.
Yes.
And I decided to finish my degree.
Okay.
Because at that time, I thought we would have like Elizabeth Warren be president. I knew we had to finish our degree to get our student loans paid for. But
sure.
Anyway, I'm not psychic. Clearly,
she stood no chance at that point. It was like,
I don't know. I had a lot of a prayer. Right. And I finished my three gen eds, and I graduated in 2020.
Oh, good for you. That's great. Well, yeah, you took advantage of that time, didn't you? Yeah, that's so cool. So talk to me about Motown. What songs were you singing in this tour?
Well, the promotional tour was a little bit different.
Right.
It
was more concert-esque.
I did like the Broadway company. I did the tour for a little bit.
Right.
So different things for different.
But like, was it one of those things where you were singing some of the songs that you were doing on Broadway? Or
exactly.
It was.
So like we probably did. Oh my God, you're taking me back. So
yeah.
I know we did like Dancing in the Street.
Okay.
We did. I know like the Diana and Berry Gordy did the duet.
Yeah, I can't remember. I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember what it is either. And so you guys, was this promotional tour, did that assist you in booking it on Broadway, or was it completely separate? Because sometimes
they knew me, and then Jesse Nager was going to do Smokey on the tour. Okay. And then I replaced him. So because I did that, they already knew me. I just.
So you didn't have to re-audition or anything.
I went in for like a work session to make sure I could do that particular track because I wasn't doing, exactly what he was doing on Broadway in that promotional tour. Yeah. But like because I booked that, which was amazing because Berry Gordy is in every audition that you go in for. He's.
Barry Gordy was in the auditions for Motown.
I don't even know how I should say this. So I'm in the bathroom after my audition, and Berry Gordy comes to go to the bathroom, wash his hands, and it was at the old Telsey. Back in the day. Yeah. Rip. And he goes in. He goes, "Well, you booked that," and I was like,
"That is crazy."
And at that time, I was flying from college, and I maybe flew back 4 or 5 times, or took the bus, or took the train, going back for all these callbacks. They sent 40 pages to, go over. Gosh. So finding that out from obviously just a legend, he doesn't say anything that he doesn't mean or feel. Yeah,
of course.
So it was ooh.
Wow.
Amen.
That's nuts.
So
wow, good for you. That's insane.
In.
And you're really young too. This is that's incredible. Right out of college. So that brought you to the city. You're making your Broadway debut. Had you seen the show already?
I want to say I saw it. I must have seen it at some point of coming back. I know, you know, when I was going back and forth for auditions, I saw it in that.
That was one that I was sorry that I missed too, because my uncle had offered me. He was like, "Hey, why don't we go see Motown?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know about it. I know. I was really young, but it was like one of those things where it was like I just didn't. I think that I was like I must have been like 9 or 10 years old, because it must have been like when Motown was really starting.
9 or 10. How old are you?
I'm 24. Like, I'm not 24. I can play 16 to 30.
Let's just keep moving on. You probably weren't. That makes sense. Great.
So I guess I was like, I want to see Spider-Man, you know. So that was our first Broadway show. Yeah,
and that's what a show to see.
Yes, right. I wish it was Motown instead.
We don't discriminate in Broadway show. Any Broadway show.
Any Broadway show that you see is great. No, you should see Spider-Man if it comes back.
Talking about liability.
Yeah, right, exactly. Okay, so talk to me about booking Motown. You played Eddie. Eddie Hendrix. What was it like, I guess, being that young and being thrust into a group of people who already at this point, how long was the show running?
2.5 years.
Yeah,
maybe,
so it was on a steady course of like, talk to me about joining that cast and about being amongst like veterans on, you know.
I think it laid such a groundwork for me that I don't even feel like the kids today really get.
Sure.
Because I think I again, just like God bless her soul, like, you know, Marva Hicks and Eric Summers, like these incredible, you know, Broadway vets, you know, God rest their souls, like taught such a foundation for me, and like how to show up for work, how to be consistent even when you're not feeling well, even when, you know, just like the level of performance to never dip down a certain way. I mean, Ryan Shaw is one of the best vocalists we have in this damn city. And he'd be like, "Oh, I'm just sick, so I'll just do everything up the octave." I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, just one of those amazing, you know, Michael Kilgore was there at the time. Wow. So like just some incredible, you know, artists, singers, and just Donald Webber, and like just was able to take in so many like beautiful little nuggets of like, I'm not feeling well. Well, baby, eat an apple and get up on there. And just having to like navigate all that, you know, was the education that I needed to do Broadway. It's like, you kind of need to be president to be qualified to be president. You need to, do Broadway to be qualified to do Broadway.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Is like, I've never done 8 shows a week. And so in my head, I'm like, you always think you're like, oh, I can probably handle it. But I know that the feeling of doing 8 shows a week, literally, mentally, is like a whole different.
It is.
Yeah.
It's I mean, every show is different, right? Like the demand that is put on you, but you just have to know, like, if this is the gas tank, you can't use it all in any one.
Right.
You know, you have to know like where you gotta take a little, put a little.
How long were you in Motown for?
The New York company, I closed it out, so I was in there for a few months, maybe like 5 months or something.
Okay, gotcha.
And then I went back and forth and did the actual first national tour, maybe like 3 months here, 3 months there. Gotcha. And then the promo tour was like 7 months, 8 months, maybe. Sure.
What theater was it in?
The Lunt-Fontanne, Where Death Becomes
Wow,
Her is my favorite show on Broadway right now.
I love that. So we were talking Motown. You said you did Motown for a couple months, and then you went on the national tour for, what'd you say it was, like a year?
So I did promo tour, Broadway.
Correct.
Then back out to tour.
Oh, very cool. Were you doing the same track?
Different tracks.
Oh, who were you on the tour?
Norman Whitfield in the tour. I did Eddie Kendrick's track on Broadway. Okay. And then again, the promo tour was just like a medley. Yeah.
That's so exciting. Yeah. When you come off this tour, what is your it's a common phrase that we talk about on this podcast, is like, after booking your first Broadway show, it's such a high, it's such a big thing, and you can get very lost in the trajectory of like Broadway show to Broadway show to Broadway show to Tony to, you know. But that's what in an ideal world that'd be perfect, but that's not usually the way it goes. So what is your first?
I'll take an Emmy first. Like, I won't bitch.
No, we're not discriminating. We're not discriminating. We'll take the Emmys. We'll take the Oscars. I know you were in Pose. So talk to me about what was your first step of coming off that national tour?
Well, first, at that time, we were making a wage that I could go to Europe after and have a nice
is
little
that right?
vacation.
Oh, good for you. That's
the days
awesome.
have changed, kids.
Yes.
The days have changed.
It's true. It's true.
But you know that the times that I would work on the tour for like 3 months would sustain me for the next, let's say, I don't know, 4 or 5 months.
Right.
You
Right.
know.
Right.
It's a little bit different now, or very different, I should say, in many ways.
It is. Yeah.
Sometimes
half the rate. You know.
But honestly, I kind of knew immediately when I got Motown that it wasn't looked at as the same as other classic white Broadway shows.
Oh, sure.
I mean, immediately, you know, oh my God, you're in Lion King. Motown? Oh my God, you're in Memphis. Motown? Like just, the, you know, the nod, or like that show's different. They're just like singing, and it's like, or they're just contemporary singing. It's like, to be able to sing that kind of music, like that is one of the hardest things I've had to do. So then when I come, and again, it's different. Not everything is the same, but like if you can sing that, I would usually say you could sing other things, i.e. legit or this or that.
And it's funny because it kind of negates that what your classic training is, and now we're so much more accustomed to like a pop rock style of training.
Right.
But you were going in during a time where like jukebox musicals weren't even as prominent; they were still creeping in, and so you're doing. You know, I mean, yeah, like in and out. I mean, Jersey Boys was already,
more like,
but not like now. We're like now you're pretty much there's one
everything
all the time. You know what I mean? At regionals too.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually, yeah. So talk about that vocal sensibility, the different, and what you learned vocally about yourself during that show.
I mean, again, being around so many incredible vocalists in their own right, you know, you just kind of take little tools like a smart artist will do that, of course, beg, borrow, and steal.
Yeah.
But I definitely grew up demanding of myself to be very versatile. So like I know a lot of the industry will put people in boxes, which I still have to, you know, fight and get through.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think the last 5 years of my career has been like, no. Like I can do contemporary or gospel or R&B, whatever, but I also can sing legit very, very well. So you will not say if I can do one thing, I can't do the other.
Yeah.
And I think that's the kind of training and focus that we all kind of have to hold ourselves to, just because a lot of people assume we can't do something.
Yeah.
Because of what we look like, or, you know, if we're really good at this one thing, doesn't mean we're not good at something else.
Yeah. And we talked about this with James T. Lane when James T. Lane came on. We talked about the whole notion of like you're playing real people, because we were talking about this in relation to Louis Armstrong and the knowledge of the history without falling into impersonation, right? Talk to me about how much you everybody knows about Motown or thinks they know about Motown, but you're doing it in a completely different context. You're having to play these people, having to sing like them while also still having a bit of yourself, right?
Right.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about that.
I definitely found, you know, because I was young. So,
yeah.
Again, like my voice, or just people, we mature into our voices, you know, I would say in our 30s or at different ages. And, you know, I was just younger. So like when I would go on for like Smokey Robinson, I was like, you're going to get a little beltier Smokey Robinson than you know, like a thinner sound, you know? Yeah. It wasn't until later on that I like have been able to develop more of that like mimicking sound or whatever.
And what is that quality? Like, what is that difference really in terms of like, why did you feel the need to resort to belt that you think now that you would?
Have you heard Shop Around? Do you know the song?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like it's up there. You can't really float it. It's like it's either gonna be like a mixie belt thing, but I'm not really, you know, it's I'm gonna give a chest, but then you have to kind of like pull it back.
Yes.
Which is hard.
Yes.
For me.
Yes.
You know?
No. Yeah.
But that's why I was like, sometimes I was like, it just has to rip.
Right.
We're just gonna have to rip today.
Right.
You
right.
know?
Yeah. That's interesting, especially considering that music. You're right.
Big breath, hope for the best.
Yeah, big breath, hope for the best. That is funny.
Tagline. That tagline.
I'm taking that.
Yeah.
Big breath, hope for the best.
Yeah, right. But to this point, right, you're carrying all of that knowledge now. I mean, if you look at all of the shows that require that kind of knowledge, gospel R&B, which is its own thing, aside from like a pop rock, traditional pop rock, which exists in 9 out of 10 Broadway shows, it feels like now, you know? So it's a very different thing. I would say, even if I look at like when I was coming out of college, like majority of my book was majority of my book was like a lot more pop rock essence, rather than I have more pop rock in my book than I do anything else. You know what I mean? You don't have pop rock in your book, you're saying?
No, I said I don't have a book really anymore.
Oh, really?
My book. If I opened that, it would be like Hocus Pocus. I have to blow the dust off. And then my pop song, you ready for this? It would be Easy Come, Easy Go.
But that's
and I
good.
will not. No, it is so. It
I love that song, though.
It's like first era Bruno Mars.
Yeah,
like I'm
I
not
love
singing
that
that.
song.
I'm not singing that.
You should sing, I should have bought you flowers. You know?
Literally.
No, that's funny though. Talk to me about now. I'm gonna pivot to Dreamgirls a little bit because
Ooh.
I'm gonna make a little pivot to Dreamgirls. When was that production in South Korea?
2016 when somebody was elected.
2016.
Yeah.
So you went. The reason why I brought up Dreamgirls right after was because how are you bringing that vocal sensibility of Motown into Dreamgirls, which feels a very similar thing and very specific.
For me, I think it was a little bit different, just because Motown was, a little bit more like, we'll say riffy belty or church, where CC White is more like timbre. You know what I mean? Like that smooth, suave kind of buttery sound.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think is primary for CC in my opinion, and then clean little riffs here and there, but it's really just someone, the person, the role is like getting a sketch to give to the sister that is the singer, you know what I mean? Effie. Right. So it was
how did this production come to you? How did the audition come to you, and what were you prepped to do for it?
I mean, it just came from my agent, and I never heard of it. So the producers of it are OD Musical, who are the executive producers of The Great Gatsby, who are also having a production of that
South Korea
in
right
South
now.
Korea. So we had the same situation. So
we
went over there. They produced Jekyll and Hyde. I think Kyle Dean Massey was the one over there for that. So we were all there at the same time. And we had an amazing cast. It was like Brie Jackson was our Effie. Candace Woods was our Dina. Like our dreamettes, our dreams never sounded better. Like I can pull up the receipts. They were the best sounding Dreamgirls I've ever heard in my life. They killed it.
What inspired that production of Dreamgirls? Was that you guys didn't come from? It wasn't like a
OD the production company.
But I mean, like they weren't doing it elsewhere and then brought it to South Korea, right? South Korea was the first version of this production.
No, it was like a sit down. Well, kind of like a regional situation.
Yeah.
So we went there. We just sat in Seoul for 5 months.
Wow.
They did the same company did a Korean cast years prior. So we were the first Black American cast to authentically do our show.
Right.
The second question is, did y'all speak Korean? Girl, we had super titles.
Right,
so,
right. How was, well, I mean, you mentioned that it was done already there, but how was a show like that received over there and with a Black cast? Like, how was it received over there?
Great. I mean, they really hold theater high over there. So, like, missing a show is not really a thing. They kind of treat the principal cast as all above the title. So if you're gone, they can refund their audience 110%, 10% being for parking. So it's like a whole thing.
Wow.
So, and they just go through all the nines. I mean, we do like photo shoots and, we do that here, but it's just like, it's really a step up over there.
It's taken
how they
much
kind
more
of
seriously.
and they don't do as many musicals. So it's like, the few that they do a year with like this particular company there. Yeah, it's like it's all in.
They embrace it.
And they usually go in with Lotte World, which is like their Disney equivalent over in Asia. Lotte does like, food, beverage, theme park, all the things, entertainment.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. So I guess what was I going to ask? Oh, talk to me about Seoul and the city, and like it feels. I've always wanted to go. I love that. I love so much of the culture that I've seen, and also I just feel like there's like the entertainment that comes out of South Korea is like next level. It feels like they're observing it, like you said, on a higher playing field, or some sort of. They just value art in a different way.
When it's not appropriated. I can get on board.
Yeah, sure.
I did see an Aida with
is that right?
With braids. I was like, "Now, girl, you that hair will fall out with a drop of rain, girl." But it's it's always from the lens of the person or the culture, and obviously they're going to see things differently than we see it, and that's where cultural diffusion comes into play, of all of us teaching each other all the perspectives that we have. But I loved Seoul. I had such a great time. I will admit, I'm very well traveled, but when I went to the grocery store for the first time there, I cried. Really? I did, because I have what I eat, what I'm used to cooking.
Oh, okay, sure,
and, like,
sure.
You think you expect, like, oh, things will be different. Imagine going to, like, a C-Town, their equivalent over there. So not their main grocery store, but, like, you know, I walked 5 blocks and I went to their grocery store. The produce looks completely different. You're not seeing things in the display that, you know, there's a lot of greens, but they don't have a huge agriculture sector in Korea. They import a lot. Yeah. So you're not going to find all the strawberries, all the bananas, all the, like, that's not what you're going to find.
Interesting.
And they cost a crazy amount.
Really?
So I'm looking for just, like, bread. I'm like, where's the bread? You know, imagine being like,
loaf of bread. How do we
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And you know, I try to be respectful because I'm the one who doesn't speak the language. I'm the one who's at a deficit.
Yes.
So I can't expect them to understand me, right?
Right.
Like, I got to figure it out. My phone didn't work. This is 2016. So, you know, the Wi-Fi is not all
You don't have Google Translate the same way.
It's a whole thing. So I'm like, I'm just looking for wheat bread. And they did not have it. They had one version of bread at this particular grocery store. And it's thick white bread. I'm like, thick white bread? Yeah. I haven't had white bread since. You know what I mean? Just like different diet.
Yeah.
Couldn't find like sweet potatoes.
That's funny.
Just like all the things that I cook.
That's
like,
harder. Yeah.
So it just was a very interesting thing. And then I had a good friend that I met over there that's from there. And I said, do you want to come to the grocery store with me? So he saved the day. And then I found like bigger grocery stores that you would find the things that we would.
Was it one of those things where nothing's really like Broadway in the sense of proximity, but were the theaters close? Like, were you close to Jekyll and stuff like that? Like, was it like a theater hub or?
We lived in the same building. Other than that, maybe you'd be like, hey, how you doing? Just because it's like American, you know, just because it's familiar in the sense of like, we're used to, especially as Black people, like I would walk on the street and like, it would be.
Right.
And, you know, like right in your face. And you're like, what is going on?
Wow.
So
it's a different type of fame.
Yeah. Like,
if you want to call it that.
Yeah. It just got weird. Just like foreign, it didn't feel famous. It was like, I'm just something that you've never seen before. Yeah. So that was interesting. Yeah. But I just think there was a familiar, like, hey girl, how you doing? Like, you know, something outside of my cast and also something that feels like home.
Right. You know? Yeah, that's interesting. And it's interesting to see because in truth, like Korea is developing more and more and more, and they're investing much more into their theater. And Great Gatsby is such a great example of like, and that's a 9-month run. Like it's such a great example of like these shows. There's a robust market there for theater and for arts in general, and it feels like it's only becoming bigger and bigger. And actually, it made me think like there's this event that's happening that I'm going to that's like, come see these 4 new Korean musicals that producers are backing, and we're trying, and you know, whatever, and they're doing it in the city where they're bringing Korean artists out from Korea to present new musicals. And if you look at like something like maybe Happy Ending, that was such a success that came from there. You know, I think that's going to happen a lot more often. So it's very interesting to see.
Did maybe Happy Ending come from?
Oh yeah, from South Korea. It was originated there a couple years ago. It almost feels like an out of town tryout.
That's terrible. I should know that.
Yeah, it came from South Korea. Yeah, and even if you look at like, I mean, not to bring it up, not to say like it's cliche, but because it's cliche, but Squid Game was a humongous thing. That is definitely the biggest import. That's not in English at all. That became like the biggest thing in our country and otherwise. And then Parasite, you know what I mean? Like
Parasite,
so you know, or Pachinko, that's on Apple TV. Like these are big projects. Yeah, right. Squid Game won the Emmy and Parasite won the Oscar. Exactly. Yeah. So that culture is they're breaking into like a big Hollywood type market and also Broadway. Yeah. You know, so it's very interesting to see because it feels like you were there at the beginning of something that you didn't even realize in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it was amazing, and I just was like, when am I going to be able to go to now? Will I tour internationally? No. Like,
why is that?
I just no.
Oh, really?
It's because I can assume that it's a little bit more difficult. Like you're not stationary. You're probably doing
Right.
1 weekers because those tours are usually not like a sit down. Right?
Sure,
So it's usually like a non-ec tour.
You don't have time.
I mean,
to
there's
adjust.
not really an equity tour that would go international because it's beyond jurisdiction. But
Yeah,
you know,
but it's still adjusting to culture is even harder because you're not
sitting
adjusting.
down. Yeah.
Right,
so like, and that's even hard enough to do even in the States. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like a sit down situation of like you get to go to Seoul for 5 months. I was like, I mean, when am I going to ever do this again?
Yeah.
And again, 2016, I was like,
So different.
have a good day.
Yeah. So let's talk about Once on This Island because that was another one of it was another one of those. I'll admit it, and I'm ashamed to.
You didn't see it?
I didn't see it. I
Hits
know.
Mike.
I know.
Storms out of this bitch.
I know. Because it was, and I don't know how I missed it. It was, everyone was talking about it, and I think it just like, yes. Okay, I have to go see one. And then it just like slips, from under.
So what did you see that year?
I know. And that was a big year too, right? But let's talk about that production and how you got involved with it. And tell me about the audition for Once on This Island.
So before I went to Korea, I did a workshop of Little Dancer that is now I think called...
I was gonna talk to you about that, but I didn't realize you were in the workshop of it.
Mm-hmm.
Marie Dancing.
Marie Dancing still. We
Yes.
changed it to with Susan Stroman, Lynn Ahrens, Stephen Flaherty.
Crazy.
And we knew that Once on This Island was going to most likely be transferring. They were going to do a production. And I just was like, Lynn, girl, let me come in for this, please. And, she's so sweet. She's like, yes, of course. But, you never know if, what's going to happen.
You did mention it to her.
Oh, I did. I was
wow,
like,
good for you.
We were working together. We had a great time. And,
good for you.
I'm like, coffee mixed with cream? Like, when is it ever going to be that, on the nose?
Yeah.
And, of course, time went by. Went on to do another production. And then she did what she had to do. And I got a self-tape audition from Korea. I did it in Korea.
Wow.
So I literally sent a tape in before tapes were like really a thing and popular.
There were no ring lights in the same regard. Yeah.
And I booked it from a tape.
Wow.
So I went and did the workshop. That workshop of Once on the... I left actually my show. Sorry, OD. I left the show a week early.
Right.
Not a common thing over there. They were like, what? This doesn't happen. It's like, it's a week and it's Broadway and I need health insurance. Bye.
Right.
It's how the
how it goes.
crumbles.
Yeah.
And so I went straight from like being how many hours ahead? It's like, a full day ahead or whatever. Mm-hmm. Flew back and went straight to rehearsal for the workshop.
Oh my gosh.
So I was like,
wow.
Dead.
Wow. That's crazy. I'm sure you were over the moon. Did you know Once on This Island already? You did.
Not as well as I probably should, if I'm being honest.
Sure.
I'm like the least musical theater person. Like what I know, and then there's times where like my friends would be like, dee. I feel like I should know that, and I don't know that.
Sure.
It really depends.
Did you know going into Once on This Island that it was going to be this innovative, different, immersive kind of production?
Yes and no. You know what I mean? Like you get the design kind of like pitch and how it's going to be, and that's awesome, but there's always that room for execution. There's always that room how the public is going to take to it, how we all build it together.
Right.
So, I definitely had faith that it was going to be something special, and I was really excited by it. But like as we started to move into the theater and like really deal with the elements, the sand, the water, the fire, the goats, the chickens, like all of that, I was like, okay, I think we got something like pretty special here.
Right.
And, I feel like that was a show that, Michael Arden allowed all of us to collaborate with him.
Yeah.
He collaborated with us. Obviously, he had such a clear vision, which not every director has clear visions.
Yeah.
And like that is crucial for a success of a show.
Right.
So hats off to obviously Michael and everything he does, even like
right.
maybe Happy Ending, such a clear vision, well executed.
Parade, yeah.
Anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's a genius. And so yeah, I think like once we really like hit the stage and we were in previews, I was like, well, we did that.
Right.
We did that.
Right. But it's always one of those things, from what I understand, is like you're taking this bold step, but you're not quite sure, especially in New York, of how people are going to take it.
Right.
You know, and especially when you go the full mile, you're committing and you're risking.
Yeah.
And a piece that people know and people are, you know, have their own attraction to, and you know,
Right.
but I imagine you guys were embraced with open arms right away.
Yeah, and you know, it's so funny when I think back to like the first previews. We ended the whole show with like 40 kids running down and doing like choreography with us. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know who told them that they were cut, but eventually like a week went by, and we made the decision of like, no more kids. We're gonna do a different ending. It's previews. You need to figure it out.
Yeah.
So I actually am just thinking about this now. I'm trying to go back and be like, who sat all those kids down and was like, amazing work. We thank you so much. Yeah. And now you have a first time experience into the industry. Have a wonderful day.
Wow. So they were cut entirely from the show.
Cut. Get out. Don't ever fucking come
That's
back.
crazy. That's crazy.
But it was so cute. It was such a good ending. But again, it's an attest to like a Michael being like, this is beautiful. This works. What else can we do? Is there more to like keep the creative juices flowing? And I think how he ended it was in such a more tender, personal, smaller way, a more nuanced way. And I think it was.
And you guys did feel like this like little engine that could, because you're in one of the smallest houses on Broadway, and it's already an intimate, you know, show, and also, you know,
and it lasted, you know, over a year, and like in today's
one
Broadway standards, I guess we call that a hit. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And also won Best Revival.
Won Best Revival. That was another surprise.
Yeah.
Not because I didn't think we deserved it, but when you go up against a recognized institution like Lincoln Center doing a beloved, you know, revival that was also amazing with the costumes and everything, you're like, okay, we're up against, what's the word? The system, the
big wigs, yeah.
You know what I mean? So when we got that, you know, news, we were on the bus after we had performed. So we got like the win and a live stream on the phone, like on the bus. So it was like a party bus. It was amazing.
On top of it too, what was amazing about that situation was that you guys hadn't, I don't think, well, Michael might have won, right? Michael won, right? Direction? Did he win direction?
I don't remember the order. If I'm
No, he didn't.
I feel like it would be after, right? No,
Michael didn't win direct. Did Michael win direction for that show? I don't think so. No,
he did not win direction.
No, because David Cromer won for Band's Visit. So it was. So I don't think, if I'm right, look this up for me, Chris. If I'm right, you guys hadn't won anything up until that point. So that was also the big shock. Or maybe it was maybe a designer award.
Yeah. I don't know.
Below the line awards,
but like I also thought Camille. Like I mean, I'm gonna.
Yeah,
this is not biased. Like I thought, I don't know. Oh, I think actually Carousel won choreography, right?
Yeah, Justin Peck.
Not taking what, you know, Justin Peck is incredible.
Yeah.
You know?
But it was just one of those things where it was like, it felt as if the odds were against you in a certain respect. Right. And then,
but I still think Camille should have got that choreography. Because so much of the things that she did, you know, had to be cut because of the set or the texture, you know, when you have things like ding bam bing kan ding ka dan, like footwork.
Yeah,
we have all that in the space. We hear it. It's adding music, and then we get in the space in the sand. You can't hear anything. So it's like then, you know, she had to sit there and be like, okay, we have to take that out. We have to do this. We have to, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's you just see someone.
Because I was gonna say, like, how do you adjust from that? You know what I mean? I'd love to ask her, and gosh, we're looking to get her on. She's one of our dream guests, Camille.
Come on,
Camille. I would love to have her on the show. Okay, so then Once in the Silent goes on tour after, right? Mm-hmm. And you went on tour with the show as well. Mm-hmm. How did the show adjust on tour, especially being that it wasn't you're not in a thrust stage?
Right. So that was like what we were like. Okay, now Michael, what you gonna do, baby? What you gonna do? And again, crack the code.
Yeah.
We put bleachers on the stage to still make it like around. So we had bleachers on, you know, stage left, stage right, upstage.
Oh, cool.
The band, you know, scattered within there, but we still had, you know, still thrust, and so it was kind of like a 2-for-1 situation.
Wow, very cool.
We still had sand. We still had water. We couldn't do fire because every single market, like Chicago, you can't have any fire in Chicago at all.
Interesting.
Like it's like against the law or regulation or something.
Interesting.
You know, every market has different things. We did not have live animals, but they built like a robotic chicken that like
oh, how cool.
Flapped.
Yeah.
So we still, you know, like
adjusted.
Going from the New York company to that, I do believe they got everything that they didn't really lose much.
The essence of the show.
Yeah, the essence was still there, and they had, you know, me, Cassandra James, Courtney Carter, Philip Boykin.
Oh, wow.
Tamira Gray.
Wow.
Yeah, like I had 5 of us from the Broadway company that continued on. So
very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so that ran up until COVID?
COVID, girl. We were in Vegas. They were like,
Yeah.
pack your trunks up. We'll be back in like 2 weeks. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, great. Left like really important thing. Not like really important, but like
Important enough.
self-tape stuff and like all those things. I'll be back in 2 weeks. That shit was locked up for like 7 months, 8 months
Before you could get it back.
before they could like open the facility to wherever the truck was parked, and the people could go through the things and send the things.
Wow.
It was like I almost forgot about it, and then like this big ass trunk shows up at my door. I was like, oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's funny. Wow. So I want to ask you a little bit about Marie dancing still. When I was, and the reason why is because when I was in college, we went to this, it was like, oh, come to this talk back with Susan Stroman, Ahrens and Flaherty, and Karen Ziemba. And I was like,
KZ.
I was like, I'm sorry, a talk, like it's just a talk back with the 4 of them? Of course. Like, and it was free.
Yeah.
It was at Steps. I was like, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. So we show up and they're just talking about the show. And I think it was in an effort to like promotion and to get some like movement going for it and whatnot. And I heard about this show. Now it's based on this statue and, you know, all this stuff. And it just, we saw clips and things of what it was either, I think it was what they were looking to do for the Seattle production. I think it was right before the Seattle production and what they were looking to do. And it just looked gorgeous.
It was huge.
And the music is so beautiful. And like, so talk to me about how that came to you. And tell me a little bit about Little Dancer, aka.
This is funny that I'm talking about this because I've never really talked about this show, and it's half embarrassing, but I also think it's kind of half iconic, and I'm proud of myself, the younger version of myself.
Yeah.
I went to this audition. At this time, my old agents, like, they'd put me into dance calls, and I was like, I don't want to dance. I want to do principals. Like, don't send me to a dance call.
Okay.
And they're like, just go to this last dance call. And I was like, all right, like, I'll try. And I was a good dancer, but like not, you know, when I got there, it was a bunch of New York City ballet dancers. You know what I'm saying? Tights and all that. And I was like, okay, this seems like a level beyond what I want to do and what I'm even probably capable of what they're about to throw at us.
Right.
And when I say it was like the hardest ballet, like double tour, da 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 da, and I was like, oh, this is not me. I'm nervous. So I was like, let me just, Tyler, you're just in your head. Just like, you know, give it a go at the end, let them do the thing. And it just was not going to happen. So they do tours and I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, yes. And I just made it. I literally just like made it a scene of me like promoting these 2 guys doing these double tours, and I would take a step back.
No, you did it in the audition.
In the audition, like when it was like 3 people.
Oh my gosh, that is.
And then
really
at the end, they were
bold.
like, "Are you?" And I said, "I'm a singer. Just call me back. I promise you. Like I got you. Like what they can do, I got you on the singing thing." Flash forward, I ended up booking that, and I was like the only singer in the thing where like everybody was dancing around, and I just was like riding on the tenor line.
That
and
is
Susan,
insane.
And Susan Stroman would be like my singer, but I did dance. I did have to dance. Like everybody had to dance.
I just cannot believe you went into a Susan Stroman ballet call and went, oh, that is so bold. Yeah.
Kids,
That's incredible.
Listen, they were like, "Boop, boop, boop, boop." I was like, oh. Listen,
that's incredible, and booked it.
What was the other? You want me to go and try to do a triple
Half
tour?
tour,
And then fall
yeah.
Like I knew I wasn't gonna book that
Part
room.
Of it. Yeah.
And the only other way to sell myself was like, I trust you. Like we can even do the song right here and right now.
Good for you. That's incredible.
You know, thank God for Susan Stroman.
There's a huge metaphor there of being the best you. You weren't gonna be them. You knew you couldn't be them.
Honey, I was in Adidas pants and some sneakers. I was like, I was hoodwinked. I did not even know what I was getting into. I literally
didn't tell me the
no
full
idea. And like I knew Susan Stroman, but like again,
I would not, just because of Susan Stroman, I would not assume ballet.
So what's crazy is I came about, you know, in learning musical theater. I was like, Scottsboro Boys.
Yes.
This woman did Scottsboro Boys.
Yes.
That's what I wanted. Like, that was the musical theater that I was like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, of course.
That is iconic. Go Back Home, Candor and Ebb. Like, that is the storytelling, the situations that I wanted
Dancing
to do.
through story. I mean, that is like story, furthering story with dance. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
So, but she, she had me dancing. She was like, Tyler, like she gave me this, we had these big canvas things that opened up, and she wanted like if I'm being honest, I forget the thing the word that we played. Anyway, these menacing men that would come down the court of ballet, and she wanted me to come down, and the big things opened up, and she goes, you're going to come down and do a little triple turn with this huge ass heavy, like, trench coat kind of thing.
Wow.
Like upper class,
Yeah.
She's like, Tyler, you have an entrance.
Yeah.
I was like, Stro, you're giving me an entrance. Thank you.
Right.
Just like such a great sense of humor.
Yeah.
There was like little things of like, she wanted me to cross with like baguettes. Of course, I'm going to do something stupid. So I sneeze in the baguettes.
Oh, fun.
And she's such a supportive person where she's like, I love it. Don't sneeze in the baguettes. I'm like, got it. Yes.
Yeah.
But like such one of those people
Like
that's so supportive and like loves a person that can make a choice.
I'm talking about this show as if it's like super popular, so I guess I should start
niche.
to I say it's niche, and also like
going to West End though. They're rehearsing.
I was gonna say they were rehearsing it this summer. Tell me a little bit about what it's about first.
It is about little dancer Marie.
Mm-hmm.
There is, I believe, it's a Degas sculpture.
Yes.
And it is in, France.
I think so.
But also there's like there's like 3 replicas or something in the world, and one of them is in the National Mall in DC that I've seen, and it's just an impressive sculpture that was shunned in its day. Like it's horrible, it's terrible. One of those things, and then like of course the artist dies, and then it's like it was revolutionary. It's like one of those situations,
right?
And it just takes place in the court of ballet, and like we know like kind of a bit about that in Phantom of like these young impressionable girls who were 13, 12, it wasn't like adult court of ballet like we do now, and these aristocrats who would go there and be predators and do really horrible things. We didn't touch so much on that, but like the essence, that vibe was there in the show,
right?
And it just takes place about this little young dancer who wanted to be who basically was the model for Degas, and how their relationship developed over time,
right?
And what the society thought about this dancer, like what they would say about you modeling, right? Because they would think that she's a whore or this or that. So all of those kinds of things, and how it developed over the time, and how we got to like the sculpture, and how it was accepted or not accepted in the society.
Right. And talk to me a little bit about the Fifth Ave production, because you guys did it at Fifth Ave Theater in Seattle.
Seattle.
But there was a workshop before that, right? And so you guys brought it. Talk to me a little bit about that production, because when I had heard about it, I thought that was going to be like an out-of-town tryout. You know what I mean? Automatically, in a way.
It was.
It was intended to be.
It was. I mean,
right.
it out of town. It made, good money.
Yeah. Was it received well?
It was. I think, I want to say it was in 2019. 2019. Mm-hmm. So yeah, like the pandemic, I'm sure also didn't help. The movement of that. Like,
right.
Unfortunately, that really stopped a lot of situations.
Right. And it's a good sign too that it's being developed in the West End, because it seems like, especially post-pandemic, that is a place that is now this like new. Exactly, it's much cheaper to start a show there, so that's kind of become this like new developmental out of town. We're seeing it with Hercules, Greatest Showman, and
it costs
all
like
over.
$30 million to put a show on Broadway. I'm like, what is going on?
Right. Yeah,
it's crazy.
But anyway, we look forward to it regardless, because it just looks like this like sweeping, beautiful. And a new musical from Flaherty and Ahrens. We haven't had one since Anastasia, which was already almost 10 years ago. So like, that in and of itself feels exciting. So very
amazing.
Yeah,
very amazing.
And I hope when it comes, you're still a part of it.
I
never
won't
know.
Be.
You won't be.
I won't be.
You just why? You just don't work for the same. For
no,
that
it
part,
was a feature track, and it was beautiful, and in my younger 20s it was great, and now I would go back for what's the role? Christian.
Oh, okay, so different part
for a role,
regardless.
And you know what was so beautiful is like Susan Stroman and Lynn and Steven like all know that, and they have been so supportive in me telling them like this is where I want to take my career, and like since then Susan Stroman brought me back to do a workshop of New York before it went to Broadway.
Very cool.
She was like, I want you to work with Candor, before. So and Lynn Ahrens and Stephen Flaherty bring me into. I've done some demos for some
new stuff of theirs. Wow.
That's all I will say.
That's exciting.
So they've been very supportive of me and really being like, we see it. We,
Yeah.
So it's
that's great.
Did you get to work with John Kander a little bit?
You did in New York, in the workshop.
Mm-hmm.
Who were you in the workshop?
Everything switched when it got to New York. So like I did
Okay.
it with like Celia,
Okay.
Pfeiffer, Jeremy Jordan,
Oh, wow. I didn't realize they were a part of it.
I was going to say another name, but I don't know the whole name, so I'm not going to
Sure.
embarrass myself.
Yeah, sure. But what was? How did it change then from a lot?
Yeah, like the last song, Light or something.
Yes.
One of, I forget the character name. Oh my
Yeah,
God. This is
I'm
going
not sure I
back to
remember
2021. One of the characters in the show that's like the trumpet player or something sang it, but
Okay.
in our rendition, like I was like a photographer and like I sang this whole beautiful little
gotcha.
song at the end.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What was it like working with Kander, and what I guess I should really say, like, what did you take away of working with Kander? And when Lynn was attached already on that version too, or no? On the
He
workshop?
wrote music, but he wasn't like
There.
Yeah, like
Okay.
I think he provided some music, and I'm sure he
Right.
was working more so like with Stroh or like
Kander.
Kander,
Right,
in their
right.
own time. But we did like a Zoomsicle. So we would record like our little line parts, and like sometimes the MD would be like, nope, record that again, or hold this out. So it was very like singular.
Oh.
And then it came together like a movie. So like my face would swipe across the screen and somebody else's would cut. Like it was a
how
whole
cool.
thing. Because Susan Stroman, no matter what it is going to be a full production. Like no matter what, it is going to be a full production.
Right.
Truly.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you guys were doing it in person, but presenting it over Zoom.
We were in our
Or you were
apartments.
in your... Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize
So
that.
imagine
Okay.
like a self-tape. We would do the scene like
Wow.
look left, look right. So like when I'm looking this way, the other person is looking the other way. Like we had to
Wow.
create how to tell this story
Oh my gosh.
and then present it through a Zoomsicle situation. Like we had like a movie night where we like watched it all together as a company.
Wow.
It was amazing.
That's incredible. That's so cool. Wow. And just even working with those people, like when that show was coming, I was like, this feels big already. Like this feels different. This feels like,
Stroh has me whenever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
one of those people that is so kind, so generous, so supportive, allows, each person to be themselves and celebrates it. I mean, I don't even know how I'm going to say this. I said the dumbest thing when I was younger to her. Like, we didn't meet Tyler Peck at the time. I don't know who Tyler Peck was. Tyler Peck is one of the greatest American ballerinas that we have. I didn't know. I did not know the world. Like, New York City Ballet, the show is about her, like, written for her. And we didn't meet her at the time. And she told me, she's like, oh, there's another Tyler. I was like, oh, cool. Ooh. And she said it, and I was like, oh, my Tyler one? Like, just like dumb, didn't know. And then like a couple of days later, she comes and joins us, and I literally was like, oh my God.
Oh, but that's a joke. That's not as bad as you think.
Shro. She was
Yeah.
like, Tyler, it's okay. It's okay.
Oh.
Like such a good sense of humor.
Yeah, sure.
Doesn't take anything too seriously.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
really
her.
nice.
She's amazing.
That's really nice.
Amazing.
Yeah, I love that. I wanted to ask you a little bit about performing on Good Morning America. If you go on YouTube, there's this beautiful rendition of White Christmas that you did a couple years ago. That's on Good Morning America. I guess this is something that I just think is just interesting from like a sustainability thing, because whenever I see these Good Morning America Today Show performances, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never watched them live because I'm sleeping, right? You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I'm always watching them after, and I'm going, so you guys were doing this at this, you were doing this at this level at that early in the morning, and you're showing up and you're doing a sound check prior to and all this other stuff. And I guess it's just like a prep work thing. It's really just like a nerdy, like vocal thing that I'm so curious about. And you also, in that version of White Christmas, you had this like, it felt like this like pop star energy. I have to tell you honestly, it did. I mean that because it was very much your own spin on it, which I thought was beautiful. How did that come to you?
The executive producer, I know because I've done some work with her.
Okay, gotcha.
And, developed trust in me and just saw something in me and wanted someone to be able to perform at the level of the other people that were there.
Okay.
And I would like to humbly think that I provided what needed to be provided.
Yeah.
And very grateful. And that turned into a 3-year situation. I got to do it 3 years in a row.
How cool.
so grateful. Got
Yeah.
to sing, you know, a little thing with Jessica Vosk.
Yeah.
Medley with Megan Hilty, Jordan Fisher.
Right.
And then like the other years, solo
Yeah,
things
yeah.
with, like the first year Shoshana Bean did it, which is like, again, another, someone that I have always like, big fan, love her.
Of course, yeah.
And I think that's all I have to say because I don't remember the. You know the Jennifer Lewis when she goes, yes, yes, yes. Now once again,
Yeah.
what was the question?
Right.
Have you seen that video? Please
Yes,
tell me
of
you have.
course. No,
Okay,
of course. Yes,
I was
I
like,
do.
please don't leave me solo.
Yeah, of course. No, I
that
know
is one
that
I pull
video.
up all the time.
Of course,
Yes.
yeah. So talk to me about when you're crafting, like White Christmas is a super famous song, obviously all this other stuff. Are you in prep work for it saying, okay, this is what I want to change here, this is what I want to do here? Or is it more instinctual? Like what is the...
Ooh, that's a good question. Yeah, I definitely like when I get a song, I always have to expand on anything. Mm-hmm. And that is with musical theater, that is with pop, that is with like anything. Like whatever it is, I have to be able to do what it is and then add to it or add my version. It, you know, especially musically speaking, I always want to do like, okay, sing the melody.
Yeah.
And then the second part, add some embellishments and you know, put up the juice, maybe a little bit more belty. And then the third is, it has to be like all of it or a little heady voice or like something that it's always expanding, you know?
Right.
And for those, I do like that you say like little pop artists, because I do think, again, back to that being put in boxes, like I am and always want to be a multi-hyphenated artist. You know, I just finished my first single that's not released yet that I will be releasing.
Oh, great.
So like I always want to make sure that the hats that I'm putting on, it's like I can do the musical theater hat and come at it as a master. I can do this as a pop star and come at it as a real pop star, you know, whatever it is, you know, I just did a film. So like always trying to have the different hats that you are, you know, having to wear to like honor them. Right.
Yeah, I love that. And it shows, and it's working.
I try, and you wake up 3 hours before you gotta sing. And
crazy,
drink a shit ton of water and pray, kids.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about Tartuffe. So we saw you in the show yesterday, as I mentioned earlier. You're getting to do the show with Andre DeShields. You mentioned this is someone you looked up to from a young age. Have you gotten to tell Andre that?
I got to tell Andre a little bit more than that.
Really?
Oh God. So I bought him a whip for opening.
A whip?
I probably shouldn't even say.
We could always cut it.
Whatever. No, we're not cutting it.
Okay.
He'll love it.
Let's do it.
I went in for him for Ain't Misbehavin'. He was supposed to direct Ain't Misbehavin' at Chicago Shakes.
Oh, cool.
At that time, my partner and I had split. So like this year, my 8-year relationship. And Dominican?
Yes.
Puerto Rican, can't trust anyone.
Right.
I'm kidding. I'm going to get so much shit for it.
Can't trust any of them.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, boy.
So at that time, you know, just ended a really long-term relationship. I was obviously all over the place. And I went in for Ain't Misbehavin'. And I went in the first time for Andre. And just like our banter was like immediate. And just like, you know, he's just like funny, generous, like quick. And not quick like speaking fast, but like his mind, like he just always has something so profound to say. Yeah. And it just comes. And I went in, did what I did, and he was like, I want you to come back and find a song, you know, that is like dangerous or something. Like, okay, cool. And I go back and I go, oh, I'm gonna sing an Eartha Kitt song, which is, I don't even know how my manager was like, sing this Eartha Kitt song. And I was like, okay, great. And it was like, she had like a cat suit on. It was like that era. And it was like sexy, edgy. And I did it. And in the song, I pulled out a whip and like hit myself with it, like to have a little bit of danger and sexiness to allude to the snake song, or I believe it is. Okay. Something that he did that. I should know the name of it, but you know.
Sure.
And after I was done, he was like, I had a dream about you, that you were going to sing an Eartha Kitt song. I was like, you playing with me. He goes, no, I had a dream. And I was like, well, amen. And we had a great time, ended it, thought I booked it.
Yeah.
Did not.
Oh my gosh.
But again, it's all good, because he was like, you are marvelous, like just so complimentary and just, you know, supportive. And again, you can be amazing, and doesn't mean that you're gonna fit the show. Like you never know what they're looking for in the context of big picture.
Right.
So, you know, let that go. And honestly, I wasn't even mad because he was so generous and like gave me so much love in a time where I was like, I need to win somewhere, you know? And he did. And then flash forward to Tartuffe, he has a whip in the show.
Right.
So I'm like, this shit is kismet. So I was like, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to write him a note explaining kind of where I was in my life in that time.
Yeah.
And also give him a whip because I brought a whip in.
That's so
for Andre
funny.
DeShields. And
That's
Mary Sugarman,
so funny.
Kevin Metzger.
They
and
both have been on
Olivia
the show.
Have they?
Yeah, Mary and Kevin have both been on. That's so
Still,
funny.
they're like, we'll never forget that you brought it with him. And I said, me either.
That's hysterical.
And I'll give credit where credit's due. My ex is the one who told me to do it. And I was like,
wow.
I'm not bringing in a whip.
That's funny.
Maybe I will.
Yeah. That's funny and risky. That is the epitome of this podcast. Like, it's just like, and I'm learning about you too. It's like, and learning from this in general is like the risk and the as long as it's an inspired choice and something that makes sense, like the risk is worth it. You know what I mean? The little dancer risk and and this risk, like there's one other, but like it's like, yeah, really worth it. Bold choices.
Sometimes it works out.
Yeah.
Other times, like when I went in for Moulin Rouge, they were looking for, this is right after One's on This Island. I went in to sing, and it was another dance call. I didn't know it was going to be a dance call. And I see them going, you know, Moulin Rouge. I picked up that bag like Viola Davis, and I was out.
Yeah.
I was like, this is one where I cannot make it and have a good day.
Right.
What was Andre's reaction to the whip?
Yeah.
That I'm going to leave alone.
So let's talk about this show. You, did you know Tartuffe before? Okay. Yeah, me neither. I did a little bit of research before.
Yes, I did.
Of
I
course.
studied a lot and, you know.
Moliere. Yeah. So what did you have to do going into this? Did you have to do like a classic monologue or something?
It was an offer only.
Wow.
Which made me
Come on.
very grateful.
Yeah, come on.
I literally was like, it came in and I was like,
wow.
so what's going on over here? How'd this happen?
How cool.
It
That's
just came.
awesome.
So grateful.
Yeah.
And may more like that come, Jesus.
Was it because of Andre and the association with Andre? Or,
Again,
wow.
I have no
Beyond
idea
you. Yeah.
what, you know, because
how cool.
Even if it is, like there's a few people that it has
of course.
to have
Go
a couple
through.
yeses
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
And again,
That's incredible. Good for you.
Thank you, Jesus.
That's
like,
amazing.
May they all come like that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, right, exactly.
Because in the other side, you have to. There's so many times you have to go in a million times. You're just like, damn, again. So anytime that you have a situation like that, you're like, amen.
Yeah.
But we had to start pretty soon.
ASAP.
Yeah, like Amber and I got, I think, our offers relatively in the same couple weeks, and then
Right.
we started pretty quickly and had a week and a half of rehearsals.
Right. A week and a half of rehearsals for a show that's like the language is super heightened.
Verse, yeah.
So yeah, and you're speaking in verse, and also, well, had you studied it before? Did you? I mean, you did The Tempest, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trained.
Phased, yeah, trained and all, but still, there's a hitting those beats is what's so important. So we were talking about it yesterday. It was like, where was Christian? Christian said to me yesterday afterward, he was like, I was so engaged the entire time throughout the show, and there was not a single moment of disconnect. There was not a moment where I go like, what is happening? What is this show about? And that is a testament, of course, to the translation, but also to what you guys are doing. Because every performer, including yourself, is like giving 100% of themselves physically and to this performance. For those who don't know, it's 100 people at the House of the Redeemer, which has never been, never put on a live performance. We mentioned that. And it's a really intimate space. But because you guys are speaking at this heightened language, things are very easy to get confused. And even though there's a translation, like you said, you're speaking in verse, you're not speaking in the way we're speaking now.
Right.
So it's not inevitable that you would understand every single thing. It still feels from a different time.
So it always like, especially with actors who, you have to get to know what you're saying. You guys knew, and then like you said, Ed.
Right.
And that addition was extremely helpful.
And justified. It was just like it was very justified and inspired. Like,
Yeah.
And we're having a good ass fucking time.
It does look it. Yeah.
We are.
It really does.
It's a farce. So like, I think for me, like I'm kind of like the clown and jester and have, physical comedy and all the kind of comedies, but then on the complete reverse, I'm also getting to like tap into real situations of rage, of despair and hurt, and like, so it's kind of like a double dutch of like, we're in farce land and then we're in drama.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And sitting honestly in all of it. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like but yeah, I just think it's so important. I think it's so important because catching that feels like a musical. There are times where, you watch a musical and it's very easy sometimes to maybe misinterpret or mishear or something like that if it's not being Yeah, exactly. There's a rhythm to it because there's a rhythm to comedy,
Yeah.
right? Here's what's interesting. So when I was in college, we had learned that there was this one professor who was like, I want you to try doing this piece, this whatever, to someone's eyes. So you're always taught as a kid to sing to the exit sign, is what I'm really familiar with. But then I was like told to sing to someone, and it kind of broke my brain because I was like getting really like, I was just like really self-conscious, and I just felt like they were seeing something in me and vulnerable. You guys were doing that through and through to audience members. Yeah. Talk to me about the key of getting through and not distracting yourself and things like that. The key to speaking someone directly to their eyes.
So I think what's beautiful is like we all kind of came in with. So our director had this vision, has been working on this for a long time, and like had a very clear vision. Keaton Wooden. Yeah. Keaton Wooden. I always say Wooden. Wooden.
Yeah.
Love him.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah.
Just so supportive. Another one of those people that like has his specific vision, but was like, I need you all to bring you all.
Right.
And completely allowed us to do that. And like all the times that we're speaking right to the audience or to each other, it's kind of like a self choice. You know what I mean? The times where I'm like, okay, this is exposition. I'm talking about Tartuffe and kind of catching people up. Let me, directly let them know and give a POV of like what I feel about that, and then keep the story moving. And then when we're in the farce or the things are happening, it's like we're here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's kind of like a double Dutch situation of it always kind of changes on a dime.
Yeah, that's interesting. And there was this, I took this class recently where there was someone who was in this, it was like an acting through song class, and someone in this class was not as versed in, he didn't go to college for it or whatever. He was an older man who was just getting back into it now, right? And what was beautiful is that his note that he received was like, when you're singing, because he was getting ready to prep for some audition, and they were like, in the audition room, don't sing to their eyes. And he just didn't know, and it was really sweet because, and he was like, yeah, I know, I just really struggle with it. It's just that I really like singing to someone because I feel like I'm getting like a compassion. There's some sort of compassion that I'm receiving to someone if I'm singing to them. And he's singing this beautiful song about his daughter. I think it might have been actually an Ahrens and Flaherty song from, but it was just like such the opposite of what I had originally been like, oh God. And when you look at someone in their eyes, you make them nervous, right? If you talk to someone, there's something about it that they're, and this guy had this like compassion. So I found it so interesting because it happened a couple of times throughout where you guys were looking right at me, and there were moments where you're performing to me, you're talking to me as if I'm a character in this show.
Sure.
And I am, in a certain respect. The audience is a character. Into the comedy, into all of it, and adjusting. So tell me, I want to ask you about your strangest audience interactions. This also plays into Once in the Silent too, because it was a very similar in terms of the immersive quality of it.
Sure, yeah.
In the sense that the audience is in your face, Your strangest audience interactions. There was a moment that I can cite where I'm sitting cross-legged like this, and you just happen to be crawling under me, and I'm going, oh my gosh, and you're adjusting, but it's like on the spot, right? Talk to me about how many moments like that you have throughout the show like this.
I would say, so our director, again, Keaton, said that his vision for me was I am like furniture. So during the middle of the plot, we are essentially baiting Tartuffe because Tartuffe is a hypocrite. Tartuffe is a fraud. But he essentially swindled and hoodwinked our father, who is the rich aristocrat, into believing everything that he says is holy, and he has the word from the Lord.
Exactly.
And everybody else around him is like, he's a fucking fraud, you know what I mean? And we see it so clearly.
Yeah.
So then we have to essentially set him up and put him in a situation that our father never sees of him. And through that, in the middle of it, I am essentially crawling around the audience. And I get to crawl over them, crawl around them, you know, touch them respectfully.
Right.
I will say my director was sitting in the seat that I like end at.
Yeah.
So I decided to like play with his nipple.
Oh my gosh.
And he's like such a yes and
That's
people, but I did
so
it because
funny.
I knew the people around him were like, does he know
What
him?
is
Oh
that?
my
Yeah.
God. My one of my best friends from company, Jacob Dickey, sat in the Moliere sisters chair. There's like a chair that lights up that's like a special guest.
Yeah.
And opening night, when I go sit in their lap, I made out with him. He did not know.
That's hysterical.
I was like, pucker up, baby.
That's so funny.
So I'm in the audience. I'm, you know, again, it's like those moments. It's like farce. We're just playing around. It's whatever. And then there's moments where we're in the scene and it is a real scene. It's happening. They're, you know, they are no longer there. So it's kind of like you have to do the work in your mind.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's so interesting. And it's funny now because like I'll do like a cabaret show or things like that, and I love looking directly to people because I think that like the discomfort that I see in themselves is really funny. You know what I mean? And sometimes people think it's funny around them because they're like, oh my gosh, he's talking directly to him. Do you ever notice that where you're like doing something to somebody and you can tell that they do not want to be? The audience participation can come, you know, hit or miss.
So yesterday was I would say our toughest audience. It was the quietest.
Oh, is that right?
You know what I mean?
Okay.
But again, you understand why. I'm moving past. But
yeah,
I go to my first beat where I'm like, my old friend Valère should be my brother-in-law that leaves me free to wed his sister. Look. And when I say her face was,
oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I was like, damn.
Wow.
It's like, okay. But then luckily by the second time that we like call upon her, she perked up and she understood the assignment.
Yes.
She got there. But I was like, I don't know, kids. This may
You never know.
There's also another time where there was another a couple and the boyfriend was pissed.
Oh really?
He was pissed. I was like, are y'all dating? He goes, just huffing and puffing. I was like, are you good, my guy? And he was not happy that I was sitting on his girlfriend's lap. And I was like, and then, you people get mad. You're like, now I'm going to go in harder.
Some people don't do that, Tyler.
And guess what? You're at a play.
You're taking, no, yeah, exactly. I'm not blaming you.
So I go, and especially if you come to the show, Tartuffe.
Yes,
do not take us seriously. You will know immediately we are just there to give you laughs and have a good time. But I'm leaving, and the last thing I said to him is, "You're lucky I'm gay because I would take your girlfriend."
Oh my gosh.
The end.
Oh my god. That's hysterical. Well, it's all in character and in good fun.
Exactly. If you see the show, you'll understand.
Yeah,
I have no bounds. I have no rules. I get to do whatever I want.
What was it?
And he's a lucky guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. That's funny. That's really funny. Yeah,
You should bring your girlfriend.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Talk to me about working in this space, the House of the Redeemer. Talk a little bit about what the House of the Redeemer is, and also working in this space. Because when we walked in, we were like,
"Holy shit!
My gosh!"
Yeah. So the Vanderbilts, we all know the Vanderbilts.
Yes.
Went over to Italy during World War I, and they saw this library that was built in the 16th century, and they were like, "Okay, we can't possibly have someone build this in the United States, so." Cut this thing up, send it on over to the U.S. They used 2 U-boats. Why did they use 2 U-boats? In case one of them got bombed.
Wow.
So they could replicate the other half.
Wow.
So they were like thinking ahead
of it, yeah.
And they built the entire mansion around this library, and then since transformed into like a community organization of like providing subsidized housing to cancer patients, because Mount Sinai is like a few blocks away. So they provide housing for people that are coming from out of town. And they also provide housing for like priests that are traveling or something. Right. And they tell us it's the priests that are like more on the liberal side. I haven't met them. I don't know. I just try not to swear when I go up a couple levels to use the restroom because that's where they are.
It's huge, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, how many levels is it? It's something like 7, I thought, right?
I don't even think I probably have been in all of them.
Yeah.
I just go to, it's like,
yeah.
I've been to like 4.
Right.
But I think there's more.
Yeah.
4 more. I'm speaking in verse all the time.
Yeah, he's always in verse. You just live in verse now.
They could think that's something else. And I will not clear the record on that here.
But talk to me about how you guys are navigating this space, because you have turned it into successfully into like a performance space. The lighting is incredible, like, and really helps tell the story in so many different ways.
I will say I was watching you on Andre's or the Tartuffe's entrance.
Yeah.
And I saw you guys going like looking at something, and
well, because there's secret lighting, like there's lighting, and
Yes.
you know, if you're not in theater, maybe you wouldn't notice it as much, but I'm looking at him and I'm going, do you see that in the bookshelf? Yeah, in the book there's like a light in the book, and it's creating this moment that was so effective.
Yeah.
You know, it's just really strong. We're big supporters of it, and go see Tartuffe. You know, and I want to go back to see it with Andre, because we didn't see it with Andre yesterday. I want to take it back for one moment, because I forgot to ask you about company. And the biggest reason why I need to ask you about it, of course, we mentioned Matt Rodin, who was a former guest of ours, a friend of ours, who was in it, but also you also did one of the most iconic songs in the Sondheim canon, Another 100 People.
I did.
Your approach with that song is so difficult, I think, at least. Really?
It's able to play, but
well, no, it's easy to play, but to sing
No. They're gonna be like, this fucker. It is not easy,
right,
for articulation, speed,
right,
and carrying over, making sure that you're keeping everything in a vocal line.
Yes.
Going back to Motown, when you are hollering music,
right,
in the stratosphere, like just yelling.
Yeah.
When you're singing something in like a moderate range, it's like, oh,
this is different.
Okay, this is great.
Yeah.
For me,
right,
you know, but
right,
I'm also
right.
like a tenor, so
Sure.
that song felt in a solid pocket for me,
right,
compared to singing and belting high C's in D flats.
Yeah. Did you see it when it was on Broadway?
Yeah,
you did. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I saw it when it was on Broadway too, and Bobby was amazing. He was great too. So it's like tough act to follow in a certain respect, but also that song in general is like so hyper communicative of the story. Like that's kind of like while also being so New York specific, and it's one of my favorite Sondheim songs. So it's just like when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, you're PJ, which is that part. And also talk to me about the liltiness of PJ, right? Like the kind of like hippy dippy kind of like vibe of all that. You're serving an important piece to Bobby's overall.
It's nice. Similar kind of PJ is in his own world.
Yeah.
Compared to everybody else, you know what I mean? He
Right.
doesn't take anything too seriously. He is living presently in the moment and just like believes everything full-heartedly.
Right.
So, you know, the function of PJ essentially is to tell Bobby to like stop, you know, being so uptight.
Yeah.
Live a little bit.
Right.
Which, you know, in the part of the story is crucial because, you know, Bobby's all spun up and overthinking and weighing all these things out, and at that part of the show we have all 3 boyfriends kind of coming in and out, having little scenes with her and her questioning her life and like, did she make the right choice in not being with these 3 boyfriends? And you know, at the point she finally talks to PJ, she's considering it, and then by the end she's like, nope, that was the right decision. He a little crazy.
Yeah.
So
I imagine too, Motown, in the spirit of talking about how I imagine that because Motown has such specific harmonies, and those harmonies are tighter than tight.
Fight me, I don't care. Love you all, Broadway company. David Sokolar, Jacob Dickey, and myself were the cleanest, best trio that has ever sung You Could Drive a Person Crazy.
Really?
I got the receipts. You ain't never heard of Bobby Baby, Bobby Booby, Bobby, but that little part in 3-part harmony, and that was confirmed by the supervisor.
Wow.
I'm telling you, every night, every show,
tight.
Yeah, I tell the truth. Everybody that knows me, I'm gonna tell the truth, better for worse.
Yeah.
And we were solid. Like, that doesn't take away anything from the Broadway company.
No. Yeah.
But, you know, we definitely.
And that song's hard.
It is hard, but we were well mixed. You know, we definitely were singing as a unit of one. Where we had to bring out certain parts, obviously that needed the special attention, but like we really wanted to mix ourselves. You know?
Yeah.
And back to like, I always task myself of honoring the Broadway production, but like always being like, if I'm going on tour, I'm giving you what they had and then some.
Right.
Always. For me. As Tyler Hardwick. Anytime I'm doing something after somebody, I have to...
Yeah.
It has to be expanded upon.
Right, for sure. We spoke a little bit about it with Matt, but that show, inevitably, and a bunch of Sondheim shows are always like a hard sell. You have to know it to know it.
Girl, there ain't nobody know Sondheim. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's tough. They're like Stephen Sondheim. They're like, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Especially, I mean, that show feels universal. It's like it's one of the best. It's funniest. You know what I mean? Like, so it's funny that there's some sort of strange disconnect or something.
I don't have the answer. I
Yeah.
wish, I think the people that do know Sondheim appreciate, him for what he's given to us.
Right.
I think that people that stumbled upon it throughout the American market, on tour, were like, oh shit,
Loved
like
it.
this was, I didn't expect this.
Right.
And I think it's a general musical theater thing where no musical theater is the same. So like if someone's like, I don't like musical theater, you can't say that because
Right.
you don't know. There was a Tupac musical, there was Dreamgirls, there's so
Yes.
many different avenues of musical
Yeah.
that
It's one of my biggest pet peeves.
I'll
I'm like,
argue
I
with
don't even
anybody
want to.
that-
I
yeah.
don't even want to hear it. You just don't know.
you
It's
don't
not,
know, right?
It's not worth the argument because you
Right.
just don't know.
Now, if you don't like something that you've seen, I can hold space for
Of
that. I
course.
don't like things that I've seen,
Of course.
but you can't generalize.
It's like saying you don't like music. It is like saying you
Right.
don't like music.
Same
Right.
like story.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I
Right.
just don't like story.
I don't like movies. I don't like television. It's like it's hard to
Right.
say that you don't like an entire medium. You know?
Right,
It's
right.
very different comparing a medium to like a genre.
In
Right.
terms of comedy, is definitely. It could have been a harder sell also because it's crazy to think. The more I look back on it, the more I see how risky it was for its time. And if it came out now, it wouldn't be just as risky, but it would be risky.
But this version was also different enough that it was risky as well.
Yeah.
You know, this version of it itself. But the people who loved it, and they erupt during the parts they love. Ladies Who Lunch, that will always erupt.
honey, Judy McClain,
Come on.
sitting in that chair, like just eating the cats and dogs.
Right. It's true.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I Judy McClain, Emma Stratton. Do you know Emma Stratton?
Mm-mm.
Love my dark comedy humor girl. That's for her.
Yeah.
So funny. She played Jenny.
Oh, okay.
Just it was such a fun time, and
Yeah.
like knowing that we were not bringing a Wicked out on tour. We
Right.
knew that was not what was going to be happening.
Right.
But I will say, like, we would be sold 30-40%, but then like right at the last minute it'd be like a 70. Like people would start to come and they would really appreciate it. The only market that I feel like didn't appreciate it as much is like Naples, but they have like an older population, so I think the risque of it all
interesting.
got them. But
That's
I also
funny.
don't know the content that they
because I'm like, I think older, and then I go like, well, I'm like, okay, we probably came up in the 70s. This show
was
was written
there.
in the 70s.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like, exactly. So it's like funny. That's such an interesting, that's such an interesting dichotomy. So I want to talk a little bit about what you have coming up next, because if I'm right, you're going to do Hello Dolly. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going.
You were talking about something else. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, tell us if there's something else. But are you watching Dancing with the Stars right now?
I know Elaine Hendrix is on Dancing with the Stars. I do not watch Dancing with the Stars, but I do see clips here and there, and I'm like, work, girl.
Okay, because you were doing Hello Dolly, and Dolly Levi is being played by Elaine Hendrix, who is currently on Dancing with the Stars tonight, another episode. We love her. I mean, I love her from when I was a kid, right? Of course. Yeah. I'm sure you do too, right? Like Parent Trap.
I'm a millennial. Okay.
Parent Trap.
Millennials are here for Elaine Hendrix. Okay.
Of course.
She was getting her money. She was not the villain. I will fight. I will jump on this bandwagon with her. Okay. Like she was doing what she had to do.
Right. And she was abused. She was abused.
Right.
In that movie.
She's better than me. I would have.
Yeah. Right. But how exciting is that? You're doing Cornelius, which is so fun. One of the best parts of musical theater. Yeah, I guess just tell me about how excited you are for that. It's just so far ahead of time too.
Yeah,
and you're doing it upstate.
I'm doing it in my hometown.
Right.
So when this came across my desk.
Yeah.
For me to be able to go home with my nieces and nephews and like chill, with my family for it's like quick 5 weeks or 6 weeks or something. I was like, let's go. And, I also get to do like a coming home solo concert for them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
How
So
cool.
it's like really exciting, and I'm excited to like. It's hard for me to go back to my hometown, just even job wise. It's not a huge amount of opportunities.
Right.
That I would go back for, just
course,
timing wise. But like, this felt like a great pocket of time to go reconnect with my community.
Yeah.
And give them a little like
And doing
coming
Dolly
home concert. Yeah. I've never seen Dolly.
Really?
I don't know it that well.
Oh wow.
But I know
You didn't see the Bette Midler one that was here.
I didn't.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I didn't.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, you're going. Then you're in for a treat.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I listen to the music. I'm like,
And you guys are. I can imagine that you guys are going to get a huge boost from Elaine being on Dancing with the Stars. I mean, she's already a star, but this Dancing with the Stars energy is just popping off. It's the highest rated show.
Perfect timing.
It's perfect timing.
I know that she wanted to do some theater, and I think like the fact that she's going to do Dolly, like
How
I'm
fitting.
really excited for her to just like, tap her theater bug. I feel like her year this year has been like really exciting to watch, and like I'm happy to be a part of it in a small way, and like support her and like having her. Yeah. Listen, she's our millennial queen,
icon for sure. And she just did that like Parent Trap Essence dance this week. So that's exciting. That's awesome.
Yes.
And, you saw that.
The duet,
the trio,
thingy, or the trio.
Yes. Yeah. How cool.
Yeah.
Love that. What else do you have coming up next that you can share? You said you were releasing a single.
I'm releasing a single. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah.
It's giving clap back, badass energy.
Love it.
I kept thinking about like Angela Bassett, the fire, throwing it to the car. Like that was kind of like the vibe that I was going for. Yeah, I definitely want like just a badass vibe. So it's a pop bop.
Love it.
I'm very excited about it.
Love it.
And then next year, a movie that I did in January, a horror film called 6 Till Midnight.
Very cool.
Should be coming out next year. I'm really excited. Starred Sasha Lane.
Wow.
Bella Porch.
Very cool.
She came in after. She's in the movie.
Sure.
Do you know Bella Porch?
No, I don't.
I didn't. I guess she's the most famous TikTok person.
Oh, she's a big TikTok person. Okay, cool.
So there's the core. There was like the top 10 on the call sheet, let's say, in the film, and then she came in and did like a couple inserted scenes. So that's why I don't know her, but I
as well,
know the other people that I did it with, but like Devin Druid and some really awesome actors are
that's
in this
exciting
film, and it's going to be epic. It's a Screen Life film.
Oh, nice.
So like they did what's it called, Missing, with Nia Long, and they did another I forget the second film, but it's like technology around like the Zoom and
very cool.
Murder happens or whatever.
So I love that. Hey, good for you. And you really are a jack of all trades in that regard. It's like
I'm trying. I'm trying
for sure.
I'm a hustler.
Yeah, good.
I work hard.
Good. We love that. So we want to play a game with you.
Okay.
It's less of a game. It's less of a game, more of like we do a segment on our show. Have you ever played with AI at all?
We don't like AI.
We don't like AI.
I do use ChatGPT for my little plants.
Right. Okay. Yes. Okay. Sure. So everyone at this point, it feels like a lot of people have like explored with AI in some regard or used it to help them in like a, we're going to use it for incredibly fun, dumb purpose. This is, since the podcast is called I Want to Be Like You, this is AI Want to Be Like You. So what I had AI do was write a scene for us in the style of Moliere. So we're writing a verse.
Fuck me sideways if I'm wrong. It's a famous line in the.
That is a famous line in the show. Okay, so essentially what this is it's double-sided. But so just when we get there,
they got me working here.
Yeah, right, exactly. We're giving you a cold read. So. This is Moliere, but it's contemporary. It's meant to take place in nowadays. Okay, AI is writing in the style of Moliere here. And this is called The Influencer's Crash, okay? A sleek Brooklyn, you're playing Theo, I'm Lucas. A sleek,
come on, company.
Yeah, right, exactly, yeah, right. A sleek Brooklyn co-working space, 2025, neon signs blaze with hashtags, #grind or die. That's what it says here. And a wall-mounted screen streams live social media metrics, right? A shared table is cluttered with laptops, energy drinks, and a shattered phone case. The scene, Lucas, which is me, facing eviction, pitches a sponsorship deal with a dubious tech startup promising instant fame. Theo, fed up with Lucas's reckless ambition, confronts him, escalating their clash into their bitter feud over loyalty and truth. Here we go. I have to tell you, I've read this. I've really more skimmed it, so I don't know how good it'll be at all. So we're just gonna be giving it.
As long as it rhymes.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It kind of does, I think. Okay, Lucas, filming a TikTok. My feed's my lifeline. Fame shall save my soul. This startup deals will make my name a goal. 1 million followers with one post's blaze. I'll rule the gram and end my desperate days.
Slamming his laptop. You fool. Your dreams are built on pixel lies. This scam will crush you, yet you blind your eyes. Their startup's fake, a trap to bleed you dry. You'll set your soul for likes that swiftly die.
You dare to judge? Your coding's but a cage. While I ascend, the king of digital stage. I'm broke, evicted, fame's my only shot, unlike your bitter heart, which aids me not.
AIDS? You speak of aid! Recall your last grand plan when you borrowed my cash for your brand span. I starved for weeks. You never paid me back. Now you chase clout while leaving friends to crack.
That debt's old news. My reels will pay tenfold. Each viral hit will turn my fate to gold. This deal's my chance. Their CEO's a star. His ex posts trend. His yacht's known near and far.
His yacht's a fraud, like you, a hollow shell. Your pawns your life to likes, and then you'll sell. Your very soul, this deal will chain your name, and when it flops, you'll have no one to blame.
You're jealous, Theo, of my destined crown. My grid's aesthetic lifts me o'er this town. You code in shadows, mocking my bright aim, but I'll be legend, etched in viral fame.
Fame. Your legend burned our trust to ash and dust. Your schemes have wrecked to bond we build on trust. This startup's lies will leave you broke, alone, a fallen king with naught but debt to own.
Alone? You'd cast me out for chasing light? My rent's past due. I'm drowning in the night.
Your light's a lie, dear friend. It blinds your heart. Choose truth, not clout, before we break apart.
There it is. That's AI want to be like you.
It stayed.
There it is.
Very
intense,
strong page.
I know, it was an intense scene about
AIDS.
Yeah. That's what it was really about. When you get to the core of it, that's what AI is really trying to talk about. All right, we have just 2 more things. We want you to manifest a dream guest for us. We're big into manifestation. That's a big thing we do on this podcast. We actually are looking to have some dream guests on. They're coming after 40 some odd episodes of this. We've gotten, you could be anyone living. So it could be, we've gotten Sergio Trujillo to, Carol Burnett to Jonathan Groff. These are people who've like I'm saying, these are not like we've had them on the show. We haven't yet. Yeah. But they've been manifested for us from guests.
Oh, so, I was like, damn.
Oh no, that'd be amazing.
Okay.
No, not yet, at least. But yeah. So anyone you'd like.
I'll give 2 for you.
Okay, cool.
I think Camille Brown would be amazing.
I'll take her.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the community could always use more of Camille Brown and her voice. Yeah.
And she's doing so much, and she's doing it really well and strong.
So much, but always humble and quiet. And I just, she deserves all the light and flowers.
She always says it too. It's like her voice is through her work, like her dance.
Yes.
Because she is much more sheepish,
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's all there.
Yeah, right.
You know
Of course. Yeah.
And then Alex Newell.
Oh, Alex Newell. I love that.
That would be a little fun on
Alex
little
just
saucy
did that,
podcast.
Yeah, right. That Alex just did Drowsy Chaperone last night at Carnegie Hall.
Did you see it?
No, I just saw like the clips of it
okay.
yesterday, which is pretty cool. I love it. I'll take it. And we end the podcast with the same question every time. We started by asking you, who was your I want to be like you when you were a kid? And we want to end the show by asking you, who is your I want to be like you now? And it could be someone in your life. It doesn't have to be a celebrity. It could be whoever you'd like.
I'm so bad at thinking about these profound questions very quickly.
Well, take your time. You're good. It is a question with a lot of
I got
weight.
one because this person can do no wrong to literally anybody. So I want to be like that name.
Yes.
I want to be like Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton. I love it.
Literally puts money where her mouth is.
Yeah, she's
invests in all the people's communities.
Right, she does, and I love Dolly Parton. She's an inspiration, and also she has a show. She has a musical coming out too.
I think I'm close. So I am doing this solo concert, like I said.
Yeah.
I don't know anything I'm singing. I always figure that out.
Yeah,
truly weeks before. Yeah. I know one song, and I'm singing a Dolly Parton song, and I know I'm gonna close the show with that.
Can you tell us what Dolly Parton song?
Is it Heartbreak? I do
know it. Yeah.
I think it's Heartbreak. Heart song. Uh-oh.
I love it.
I still need to learn it.
Heart song.
I heard it a couple times and was like this.
She did a song called Rainbow Land with Miley Cyrus that is on Miley's album that is just beautiful. She's great.
Love Miley.
And she's still doing her thing too. She's in her 70s, I think, Dolly Parton now. Good for her. Have you ever been to Dollywood?
I have not.
Yeah, I would like to go too. It looks fun.
I will happily see anything with Dolly because it's a national treasure. One of the
sure
few.
Is. I love it. I'll take it. Thank you so much for doing this. Go see Tartuffe.
Come to Tartuffe.
Woo-hoo. I Want to Be Like You with Elbi Cespedes is produced by Elbi and Christian Cespedes. Special thanks to Angelina Cespedes, Vincenzo Salvatore Cakes, Jordan Goins of Beno Bryan Brown, and of course, Tyler Hardwick.